Welcome to TheTrentMorShow. This is definitely a bit of a turn in terms of content on this channel. Obviously, I started this channel back in 2021 purely to do FIFA content, football content, all that kind of stuff. And I've kind of realized more and more, whilst I still have the love for football, making gaming content isn't necessarily the niche that I want to stick in my life. And I have realized that I love making content, but how am I going to do it in a form that not only I'm happy to put out, but something that I truly feel can impact others and people can listen to and take insight from and learn things. So I mean, the whole idea of the Trent Moore Show. If you guys have already seen some of the shorts, reels, and TikToks I've been posting, it's basically just self motivation, self love, positivity, all those kinds of things. Because me as a person, and you'll kind of like get this is the first podcast that we're doing, so you'll kind of understand. We'll have different topics usually, or I'll just kind of rant about random stuff that's going on in my life that hopefully some of you can relate to as well. But the whole point is to just, if you're scrolling on your phone, looking at something on your feed, whatever it might be, what I've especially noticed in my life is social media, whilst it has its good sides, is a complete curse. You can get caught scrolling. You can get caught on your phone too much. And by all means, I think all of us have. We've all fallen into that trap. Especially me. And I think me as a person and many other people out there, our minds are fully consumed and we start to think certain ways about certain things or feel certain ways about certain things just by a video or a picture that you may see online. And one of the biggest, I guess, things I have learned is completely reshaping my For You page, for example, on TikTok or my Reels, and making sure I like the videos that are actually positive. Whether it's a fitness influencer, someone who just puts text over a beautiful sight, just in the world, or just a video of the ocean, whatever it might be. The other thing I realized with this podcast, it's going to be a yapathon. Like, I'm going to be yapping a ton, but I just want it to be an easy to listen to thing that people could kind of tune on, listen to, just kind of think a little bit, and hopefully it just helps them. Obviously, this is the first one I'm doing, so I'm not like completely sure on all of the stuff yet, but I think the first topic that I just want to bring up in the first one is just how important it really is to trust yourself. And I feel like it's something you see everywhere, but it's almost harder in this generation to do it because of all the negativity out there. I bring up to my parents a lot. Don't get me wrong. I have fantastic parents. Fantastic parents. But I bring up to them a lot, and I'm like, do you guys see how bad the world is today? How toxic it is, how reliant the world is today on negative things. And then that can tie right back into social media. And, I'm kind of contradicting myself right now because this is going to be on social media. But my whole perspective on this is to reshape it and bring more positive content to the world because it feels like it's pretty much a 20% to an 80% split of content where 20% is good and 80% is just purely people trying to fit a norm or trying to replicate someone else because they see that person had success in a certain way, so they want to do it too, and not be true to themselves. And I think that's the biggest issue with this generation. It has to be. this generation, I'm 19, right? So I'm in that Gen Z is what they call it generation. At least I think I am. I could be wrong. The other thing is too in this podcast, if I get stuff wrong, I get stuff wrong. This is literally like I'm not gonna edit any of these videos. I'm not gonna clip them up. Well, no, I'll probably clip them up for clips for social media like sake, but um, the podcast itself, it's just gonna be straight through. Like first thoughts off my head, I'm trying to get off my chest, um, just to talk, um, and it's so important. But going back to what I was saying about just the social media and everything, people want to make a person of themselves based on another person they see. And the most important thing I have learned in the past few years of my life is how important it truly is to be unique and to be yourself, right? For some reason, I don't know when this occurred, but for some reason, spending a Friday night inside your home, uh, doing your own thing, maybe watching a movie or just gaming with some of your buds, apparently that's, especially around my age, apparently that's not something that's normalized. Apparently it's completely normalized to go out, party, do all that kind of stuff. And whilst it is fun, whilst from occasion time to time it's fun, it becomes an issue when people are kind of looking at you like, why aren't you doing this, dude? Why are you at your house? Why are you watching that movie? Like, you're on a game on a Friday night. Why are you on a game on a Friday night? You can be out socializing. And yes, whilst points in what they may be saying is correct, they're missing the self-uniqueness. And maybe from time to time those people saying that are lost in that almost per se false vision across the world right now, where it's like you're expected to be a certain way. And I'm sure in future podcasts I'll get into this subject more and more and more and more, because it really makes me think. It really makes me think, and it's so important to be yourself. Being yourself and doing what you love, what you like, what you're passionate about is so important. And the other important thing with that is finding a balance. I can't explain how much my life has changed mentally, in a mental state where I have found a balance to do everything I love. Where I'm a college student right now. That's what I'm doing. I have found a way to make time for my great group of friends. I have found time to make time for family, friends, loved ones, make time for my hobbies, make time for working out. It's so important in life to do that. It really is. And whilst there are negatives to that, whilst sometimes, like, I guess me as a person, I have felt like I personally can't do enough in certain situations, which, is tough, right? It is tough, and everyone's going to have that. You're always going to be in a situation, you're always going to have something happen to you where you can't necessarily control it, or you as a person don't think you can do it, and that's okay. It is perfectly okay. Yeah. I'm going to get a swig of my water real quick, because I don't know how much longer this first one's going to go on, but this might be a shorter one. It might be an hour. I really don't know, but I don't really know. I haven't tested this mic in this position yet. I've never had it right in front of my mouth. So if this kind of sounds like ASMR, I do apologize. I'm not going for that type of style, but if it is, it is. But going back to what I was saying, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not be able to fulfill the expectations of other people sometimes. And whilst mentally for you in those moments, it might be tough and you might be like, I can do better. Like, I can do better than this. Like, why am I stuck in this rut I'm in? Why am I stuck in this rut? You know, and that's a thought I've had a million times in my life. But it's important to remember tomorrow's a new day. Some days aren't good. Some days are really good. Some days are right in the middle. Some days you're sick. Some days you're not sick. Sometimes you're really tired. You know, I feel like it's not really recognized. It's just okay to have these days. Um and I think the first step to truly finding all this is inner self peace. Um and again, depending on who's watching this podcast, depending on people's views, what I'm saying right now could be laughable, and that is completely okay. Again, everyone to their own opinion is completely okay, and that's the benefit of a free world. You know, you can say what you want, you can think what you want, but the main thing is to just be yourself. Be yourself. Express those things that you wouldn't think people would want to know about you. Those things that people you wouldn't think would want to know about you are actually the things that set you apart from other people. It's the uniquenesses about, I don't even know if it's a word, but it's the specific unique things about yourself that truly make you who you are. For example, me. And I'm sure everyone has that thing, me, right? I'm living in the United States of America, right? My life fully revolves around football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, since this podcast is the United States, I'll call it soccer, so people can relate to it more. But my weeks are determined on if Norwich City, can't see it right here, but if Norwich City win or lose, or if the Philadelphia Union win or lose, like, and the reason it's like that is because you're passionate about it. Like, you love it. You truly love it. And I feel like everyone has that thing, but sometimes people just don't want to embrace it. Sometimes people are afraid to be like, for the longest time, right? I made FIFA content. Literally up until a few weeks ago, I was doing FIFA content, right? And when you look at a 19-year-old who's going to community college and he's still posting gaming content on your channel, I mean, even for me, I'm like, Trent, should you really be doing this still? Like, why are you doing that? And the reason I did it is because I enjoyed it. And that's perfectly okay. You know, it is genuinely perfectly okay. Doing something you enjoy is unique to yourself because you may enjoy things differently to other people. And if you do, that's a special thing, you know? You can, everywhere in the world, there is people that you're going to meet that are extremely similar in ways. And it may take a while to find those people, but you will. You will. You're always going to come across those people who you can relate to, you can vibe with, those close friends that you're always going to have for the rest of your life. You know, all those things tie in hand. And that's probably another thing for another podcast. I probably have like a whole like topic I can talk about. I'm probably going to have these out once a week. And hopefully I kind of build my talking capacity when it comes. Again, this is the first one, so I'm kind of just throwing random stuff out there, you know. I'm not really not really a pro yet at this podcasting thing, but I'm working on it because I really enjoy it, and I want to pursue it. Again, right there, I want to pursue this kind of thing. I've been wanting to for a while. So even though I know this first podcast is going to be very interesting and there's not necessarily going to be a storyline to it, I know for a fact when I post it, I'm going to enjoy that I posted it. I'm going to enjoy that I'm putting this content out. And that is the most important thing ever. The most important thing ever. Make sure what you are doing in your life. I'm doing the Italian thing right now. I'm doing I'm doing the Italian thing right now. Make sure you are doing something every single day that you want to be doing. Right? There is genuinely no excuse. Right? You could have a 12-hour workday, and you could find something when you get home from work, whether it's the smallest thing, it's a show you watch, or whatever you may eat, or like one of your favorite drinks, right? Instead of, obviously work's hard, but instead on those days thinking, oh, work was so tough today. And don't get me wrong, that's okay. That is okay. Perfectly okay. Because this is something I've done before, but I've started to realize it's like when I get home from work, I make myself look forward to something. It could be the smallest thing ever. It could be me going to a spot, like a new food spot with some of my buds. Or it could be me coming home and chilling on some Rocket League with my brother. Anything. Or it could be me just coming home and having a nice cold glass of water on a nice summer day, even though it's February 26th, as I'm recording this in New Jersey, even though it's pretty nice out today. It's about 54 degrees. But you get what I'm saying. If you start to live life where you pay attention more to the little things, it is extremely, extremely beneficial. And I want people to do more of it. I hope people do more of it. And I hope that we can kind of turn the whole start of this podcast is like, obviously I'm one person and I'm not a big social media influencer by any means, but my whole aim with the start of this is to just talk, try to make people feel like it's okay, you know? It's okay to be the way you are. It's okay to pursue the things you want to pursue. It's okay to be ambitious. It's okay to dream. It's okay to do all of these things, right? You just have to believe it. And you have to disregard the negativity in your life. Because negativity is everywhere. And it is. And we're not going to get away from negativity per se. But one thing we can do, we can find a way to fight against it. And this is the first podcast of many, where hopefully I can at least help in one certain way. So that's about 18 minutes. The first one that we're going to be doing. Again, I know it's a very crazy switch up of content going from FIFA, EAFC content to now podcast form content and live content. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are too. And I can't wait to keep going with more of this. So yeah, the Trent Moore Show. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't know when it will be, but it will be soon. Peace.